Since it was she who had called the police, Natalia also followed the Paulcha back to the station. As soon as she finished her statement, a group of people barged in from outside. Leading the crow was her grandmother, Clara, who rushed forward and gave Natalia a big tight slap across from her. Natalia frowned as a metallic taste spread in her mouth. She looked up coldly at the people standing. "You wench." Clara trembled in anger. "You knew very well that it was your sister, yet you still called the cops on her? Are you trying to anger me to death?" Natalia wiped off the blood from the corner of her lips and looked up at the woman in front of her mockingly. "My sister? Are you talking about Jessica? What are you acting dumb for? Word has spread all over saying that the daughter of the Dawson family seduced someone else's fiancé. You're the one who caused all this, and you said you didn't even know that?" Natalia lowered her eyes and laughed softly. "So that woman was her. I thought it was just some random prostitute cager to make some monsie, but it turned out to be my own sister?" Standing behind Clara, her father, Philip Dawson, roared in anger. "You bitch! What did you say?" Natalia sneered. Just the truth. She really did not expect that the woman with Sean would be Jessica. Originally, she had just thought that Sean had betrayed her. She only acted the way she did in a fit, out Anver to make Sean max a loo. Oh himself, to relieve her resentment. Unexpectedly, not only did her fiancé cheat on her, but the person he cheated on her with was her own Halt sister. "What a joke! You!" And the old lady was so tunous that she raised her cants and was about to smash it down on Natalia. But Alcina quickly stopped her. "Mom, let's just talk. Don't be angry. Your health matters the most." Then she turned to Natalia. "Natalia, you shouldn't make your grandmother angry. Jessica is at fault here, so you can beat up or yell at her and all you want later, but your grandma is already old. Listen to me and don't talk back to her, okay?" If a passerby saw Alcina's gentle and consecrate expression without knowing who she was, they would have thought that she truly was kind. Natalia's lips hooked up in a sarcastic snool. When her father Philip saw her expression, he became even more furious. "Are you feeling good about yourself now? You got your sister and your fiancé into the police station and completely humiliated the Dawson family. Do you even remember who you are? Your sister is an actress. How is she supposed to show up in public after you made such a fuss today? Will she be continuing in the entertainment industry? What will happen to the arc relationship between the Dawson and the Miller family from now on? Have you even thought about that?" Natalia looked at him coldly. "Is that all you can think of?" Philip still, "They are the ones at fault, so why are you here blaming me? What did you expect me to do? Turn a blind eye and pretend I didn't see anything? Maybe you would have preferred that if I wished them a long and happy life together?" Philip was lost for words for the first time. Then, his jaw clenched in outrage. "You can't even keep your own man, yet you re-blaming others for stealing him? If you were any good at all, would he have dumped you for your sister? You don't reflect on yourself when something happens and instead blame everyone else. You are just like your useless mother." Natalia shook violently. At her father's harsh words, she stared at him in disbelief. 5 years ago, Philip had an affair and took Alcina and Jessica into the family. Only then did Natalia find out that she had a sister who was 5 years younger than she was. Her mother could not bear the shock and drove her car into the Enver, ending her own life. Fearing that Natalia would raise a stink, the Dawsons sent her abroad and washed their hands clean at her. In those years, it not for the small inheritance that her mother left her, she would have died while she was abroad. She always knew that her father and grandmother did not like her mother, but she did not expect that they would have such harsh comments for her mother even after her death. Her entire heart and body went cold for a moment. Then she gave a mocking laugh. "Yes, I'm useless. After all, I don't have a mom who was a mistress, so I didn't inherit the ability to seduce men. Jessica Dawson truly surpassed her mother. My eyes are open to a whole new world." To the side, Alcina's taste instantly lost all color. Philip bellowed furiously. "What did you say?" "You know exactly what I said." "You! That's enough!" Clara suddenly shouted. Philip wanted to say something more, but Alcina tugged on his arm from the side. When they looked up, they saw Sean's father, Henry Miller, lead Sean Miller and Jessica Dawson out of the interrogation room at the end of the corridor. Henry did not look pleased at all, and neither did Sean and Jessica's. Jessica clung onto Sean's arm, and her small face twisted as if she was enduring all kinds of hardships silently. Her eyes were nemmed red with tears, and she looked delicate and pitiful. A group of people suddenly rushed forward, full of concern. "Jessica, are vous all right plus?" Jessica shook her head and said in a muffled voice, "I'm Fink." Then she looked up and stared at the person standing behind the crowd. "Natalia," she called out softly as she walked forward, looking at Taha guiltily and weakly. "I'm sorry, I didn't expect you to come. As Sean and we didn't mechanic it, so please forgive 11s." Natalia looked at her coldly, her face expressionless. Henry Miller also sighed and stepped toward. "The Miller family is at fault here, but we can't change what's already happened. Whatever compensation you want, just say it. We will nightly satisfy you." Natalia sneered. "Compensation? Are you trying to just dismiss me with money?" Henry's expression twisted as a hint of guilt flashed in his eyes. He glared at Sean and thundered, "You useless bastard. You caused this, so get over here and explain yourself right now." Sean glanced at Natalia with his face full of unwillingness, but he finally walked onward under his father's intimidation. "Natalia, we're not suitable for each other. Let's annul our engagement." Natalia was shocked. She felt like her heart had been cut open by a dull knife. It overflowed with pain. Although she already knew the outcome, she could not help but feel upset the moment she heard his words. A chill rose in her heart. She looked at the man in front of her. Her lips curled as her eyes started turning red. "Sean Miller, how long have we been together?" 6 years. 6 years. Ha! Who would have thought that we would spend 6 years with each other just to end up like this? She caught him in bed with another woman, yet there was no guilt, no attempt in his heart to redeem himself, and there was not even an apology. All he had to say was a cold, "We're not suitable for each other." Something broke in the bottom of her heart. She lifted her lips sarcastically and said without hesitation, "All right, I agree." Sean was startled, a little surprised by her decisiveness. He frowned and looked at her suspiciously. "Are you serious? We can annul the engagement, but I want the 3 companies Miller Group just bought as compensation." "What? Are you insane?" Philip roared before Henry and Sean could answer. Natalia glanced at him coldly. "We aren't even married yet, but you're already so considerate of them. Where is your manner?" "You." "All right." Henry raised a hand and interrupted Philip's words. He looked at Natalia calmly. "I'll agree to your conditions. When you bring your half of the marriage agreement to me, I'll transfer the companies over to you." "It's a deal." As Henry led the lawyer away, Philip glared at Natalia and huffed in anger. Then, Alcina and he also helped the old Mrs. Dawson away. The only people left in the corridor were Natalia, Sean, and Jessica. Natalia did not want to involve herself with them anymore, so she turned to leave with a cold face. But Jessica's anxious voice suddenly called from behind her. "Sister!" The next second, someone blocked her path. Jessica's pale face was covered in tears. She grabbed Natalia's arm and trilled, "Sister, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to fall in love with Sean. Please don't be mad at us. It's all my fault. If you want to yell or hit NX, just do it."